I don't know why they wouldn't, but hey, that's why they're in the position that they're in, and I'm in the basement of my house recording a podcast about Congress and writing a newsletter about Congress.
Before 5 a.m., Monday through Friday.
At
The glamour
4:54 a.m. I
it
mean, there's
all.
reasons. We all make life choices, Anna, and this is the life choice you and I have made.
Good morning, I'm Anna Palmer.
And I am Jake Sherman.
And welcome to the Daily Punch, brought to you by Punchbowl News. It's Wednesday, December 10th, 2025. Let's get into the mix. Here are your Washington headlines of the day. Number one, the Hill revolts on the Trump administration's plans to make defense spending more partisan. Number two, don't bank on a January health deal. And number three, the latest from the vault. What's ahead for 2026. All right, Jake, let's get into it. We have a terrific top this morning looking at how, there's so much focus right now on the NDAA and what's happening there, but we are actually projecting forward, looking at what's going to happen in 2026. Over the weekend, Russ Vought, the OMB director for President Donald Trump, opened the possibility of a strategy of saying Pentagon funding could use reconciliation, be a partisan exercise, not the bipartisan place that it has been for so long. And the Hill is both Republicans and Democrats not on board.
Yeah, let's say that. Well, first of all, let's say a big congratulations to our defense pub, which launched yesterday, and we had a nice event last night, which was very cool. I also went to a dinner for our friend Bob Costa, who was honored with the Fourth Estate Award at the National Press Club, which was, hey, listen, Anna, if Bob Woodward is ever toasting me and you, then he ain't going to be toasting us.
I don't think that's in our future, but a big congrats to Bob. He's a great journalist and friend of the program.
Yes. So listen, here's the deal about defense spending. The Trump administration wants to do everything kind of on a partisan basis. I mean, they wanted to do government funding on a partisan basis, but what they're doing here, what they're saying they're going to do here is they're going to take the basically take defense spending process out of appropriations and just do it through reconciliation because they don't want to deal with Democrats. And this is especially acute because at the end of next year, Republicans could lose at least one chamber. I don't think they're going to lose both, but I think they could lose at least a house. Mm-hmm. And next year might be the only opportunity, Anna, to get something, to take a real big swing at defense spending. I mean, this also relies on the Republicans being able in some way, shape, or form to do a reconciliation bill in 2026. I'm not sure they're going to be able to. I think that's going to be really difficult. But that's kind of the vibe here. And we have Brianna and Anthony have Roger Wicker, Senate Armed Services Chair, saying he'd prefer to use the regular appropriations process. Lisa Murkowski, Senior Defense Appropriator, reconciliation bill is not how we ensure defense spending going forward. That's what we do in appropriations. This is a turf war, and it's also an ideological and institutional prerogative that these senators have, Anna.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think this is a trial balloon by the Trump administration. Clearly, as you say, maybe. And I think it's worth repeating, this administration wants to do things in a partisan fashion. They want to look to Republicans to pass legislation. And so this is what they're trying to kind of put out there, kind of getting blowback from both Republicans and Democrats that this is not the pathway forward. We'll have to see if they continue to move forward. I think the other big thing here, want to note here in the top, the NDAA update. The House Rules Committee approved a rule for considering the annual defense bill late Tuesday, though it's unclear if GOP leaders could successfully take that path or whether they'll have to consider the legislation under suspension of the rules, which would require 2/3 of the chamber's support. And
bet you, Anna, they're going to do this on suspension. I'm just telling you, I have a sneaking suspicion that Mike Johnson and Tom Emmer and Steve Scalise are going to decide to do this on suspension. That's a mouthful, because I think they've got people who are just pissed off, who don't want to vote for the NDAA 3,000-page bill. You've already seen MTG upset. You've already seen Greg Steube upset. They're going to be 150, 100, I don't know, some large number of Democrats voting for this thing. They could just make it easy and do it on suspension. I don't know why they wouldn't, but hey, that's why they're in the position that they're in, and I'm in the basement of my house recording a podcast about Congress and writing a newsletter about Congress.
Before 5 a.m., Monday through Friday.
At 4:54 a.m. I mean, there's reasons. We all make life choices, Anna, and this is the life choice you and I have made.
One other quick note. Separately, we've got some news, Jake. Democrats on the Senate Armed Services Committee wrote to the Navy Secretary to express, quote-unquote, serious concerns about the investigation into Senator Mark Kelly. Of course, Secretary Hegseth ordered the Navy to complete its review of Kelly by today. The retired Navy captain faces the threat of being recalled and court-martialed depending on the outcome. We will be watching that closely. All right, Jake, let's go on to the number 2 story of the morning. Senators seeking to cut a deal addressing the year-end Obamacare subsidy cliff are already looking beyond this week's designed-to-fail messaging votes, hoping a bipartisan agreement can come out of the partisan clash. This is going to be a big test, and the headline here says it all. Don't bank on January health care deal. Full stop.
Yeah, I think, okay, so here's where we are. Well, first of all, the Senate is on the floor this week with its bill. Yesterday, we broke the news John Thune was going to put the Crapo-Cassidy bill on the floor, which basically sends money directly to people for health care into health savings accounts. The House has its process going on. The Speaker had a meeting yesterday with a bunch of people trying to get this done and try to get their arms wrapped around what the hell they're going to do. And I'm not sure what they're going to do. I'm not sure they know what they're going to do, but it's going to be a big moment this morning in the House Republican Conference meeting when Mike Johnson talks about this. Steve Scalise, Tom Emmer, we'll all talk about this. Listen, I don't see an outline right now of a deal. I just don't. I mean, I think that they're moving in very different directions. And someone asked me yesterday, maybe it was on TV, but someone said, what would have to change to make Republicans want to get a deal? And I don't know the answer to that. I mean, they'd have to feel tremendous pressure to buckle on the position that they're on now. That I'm not saying that they won't buckle on it. I'm not saying that this is a complete non-starter and it's all going to be it's a lost cause, but I am saying that it needs to change appreciably between now and January, and maybe that'll happen. I don't know. A bipartisan effort is what needs to get this across the finish line, and I don't see any outline to that right now.
It's worth noting Representatives Jen Kiggans from Virginia, the Republican, and Josh Gottheimer, the Democrat from New Jersey, are introducing, there's a lot of movement here, a lot of people introducing a lot of things, Jake, but they are introducing a bill to extend the subsidies for a year with income limits and anti-fraud measures per texts that we have obtained. It also stipulates a 2026 vote on next steps for premium relief. Around 24 House members are expected to co-sponsor the bill. So as much as you say, like, it doesn't feel like the contours of a deal are coming together, there is a lot of agitation, right? I mean, this is a pretty stunning quote here. Representative Jeff Van Drew, the Republican from New Jersey, "This is an important enough issue on moral grounds, the right thing to do for our people," he said. He continues going on. And on political grounds, if Republicans put their thinking caps on, healthcare is a real big deal. So, I mean, I do think there is a recognition, whether the speaker can get there or not, or leadership can wrap their heads around it. There is agitation here and concern by Republicans that doing nothing isn't a great answer.
Correct. And listen, if you look at the landscape, right? Last night, we should mention, Miami elects its first Democratic mayor in 30 years. Now, everyone says, well, you can't take too much from this election. You can't take too much from that election. But okay. But like what Brez and I always say is a bunch of data together, you can start making conclusions about, right?
You got 3 big data points, right? You got the New Jersey, you've got Virginia, you had what happened in Tennessee, and now you have what happened in Miami, Jake.
So if you're a Republican, to say, nothing matters besides the election in 2026. That's fine. That's fine. I get it. And maybe that's true. But the warning signs right now seem to be pretty clear.
All right, let's go to the number 3 story of the morning from our Vault coverage, policy coverage on tax and trade and financial services. A battered Fed looks to a hazy 2026. The Federal Reserve is expected to lower interest rates by 25 basis points today. After that, the trajectory of rates and what happens with the U.S. economy they're trying to shape is anybody's guess. The economic outlook hasn't shifted dramatically in recent weeks. The U.S. labor market has cooled and inflation remains somewhat elevated. Cutting interest rates today will signal that the Fed is more worried about American jobs than inflation.
Yeah, I mean, the market seems to be pricing in a cut. The big thing will be, what does the Fed say about what it'll do in the future? Trump has been pretty clear what he wants. He says he wants the Fed to cut. And Republicans on Capitol Hill are all saying, we want that too. Listen, I think that the big story will be in the next couple months vis-a-vis the Fed, what Trump does ahead of Jay Powell's term expiring next year, middle of next year, or first half of next year. And as he said to Politico yesterday, it will be a prerequisite for the next Fed chair to cut rates.
All right, we will leave it there. Thank you so much for listening. We appreciate it. If you like the Daily Punch, share it on social media, tell your friends. It's the best way for folks to find out about us. And of course, you can go deeper on all these issues and more at punchbowl.news. Sign up for our free morning newsletter. Have a great day and stay safe, everybody.